Welcome everyone. I'm Yvonne Davis and today is Friday, October 23rd, 2020. So today I'm going to be talking about the October surprise, which, as you know, politicians are always coming up with this thing, the October surprise. They plan it in order to try to shake things up before election day and hopefully get those undecided voters to vote for them by bringing out some shocking information about their opponents. So this has been something that's been going on for a long time in elections, but this October surprise is particularly interesting because of the full moon that's coming up on October 31st, which means that even if it's not planned, something is going to happen. Okay, so I want to show you the alignments on that. Before I do that, I just want to say, if you're new to my channel, please click on the red button in the corner there and subscribe, and also ring the bell. I'm going to be doing 3 videos this weekend. Today's is October surprise, and then I'm going to do the election day. And then, since I've said that there will probably be some kind of disruption and delay related to this election, I'm going to look at the alignments also coming after the election and help you to know like how long it will take before things get settled. Okay, so you'll definitely want to watch all of the videos this weekend, so ring the bell for notifications. And also, I want to thank everyone for clicking like on this video, sharing with friends and family and on social media, and also leaving your comments. Okay, one more thing I want to say is today we're going to have a group Zoom session, and that's for my patrons. So if you want to be a part of that group Zoom session today, it's at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And all you have to do is just go to my Patreon channel and sign up, and you can be a part of that group Zoom session and all the ones held after that, as long as you're a patron. And to get that, just click on the link below. It'll take you to my Patreon channel, or there's a link at the end of this video. And of course, anyone, if you need a reading, there's also a link below. And just want to say thank you to all of my patrons, past, present, and future. I so appreciate your support, whether it's in the past or ongoing. I just feel so much gratitude for your support. All right, let's go look at the charts. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is Donald Trump. And again, this is for October 31st. And the time when it is exact is at 10:48 a.m. in Washington, D.C. And so you can see here in this full moon on October 31st, the sun is at 8 degrees of Scorpio, 38 minutes, opposite the moon at 8 degrees of Taurus, 38 minutes. And what's so fascinating about this particular full moon is the fact that the full moon is conjunct Uranus. Uranus is at 8 degrees Taurus, 41 minutes. So that's about as close to exact as you can get. And the fact that Lilith is up there, I think, matters as well. So I want to talk a little bit about what the full moon means and then what impact it is going to have on Donald Trump. And then I'm also going to look at Mitch McConnell. So I would say that for me, looking at this, I want to say, first of all, that the moon, and we'll talk about what it represents, your emotions, subconscious. It also represents the people, and it represents the feminine principle, which I was talking about in my last video. By the way, I forgot to mention that like I did watch at least part of the debate last night, and then I read basically the reviews afterward. And And oh, I should bring up that that website. Sorry, I kind of got distracted. I forgot I wanted to talk about that. Yeah. So anyway, CNN said Joe Biden did a better job in the final debate, and it said overall 53% of voters who watched the debate said that Biden won the matchup, while 39% said Donald Trump. So basically, what I would say is it didn't actually change anything. Things are still going on pretty much the same. So no change. What to me was the most shocking thing about yesterday's debate was that Donald Trump actually seemed to behave himself. I mean, you know, compared to the way he normally behaves, he was very well behaved. That was the most shocking thing to me. Okay, so, but again, it didn't really change anything. So let's see. So getting back to this full moon. Now, as I said, something surprising is going to happen with this full moon, something shocking. That's what Uranus does. It brings shock, surprises, and the unexpected, the unpredictable. Whether it's planned or not, it's coming. So for Donald Trump, you know, we got to think about what the moon means. And as I said, it's your emotions, subconscious. It represents the people and it represents the feminine principle. And I was saying in my last video that the problem that Trump has, when people say it's a woman who's going to bring him down, I realized it's not necessarily just one woman. It's the feminine principle, which can manifest through women. Okay, it can manifest in a lot of ways, though. And so to me, the thing that stands out the most about this issue of the feminine principle is his lack of empathy, which has been legion, you know, I mean, forever. Like, this is not something new. This has been an ongoing problem, and one of his biggest problems, particularly related to what's happening with the illness, that's one of the ways he seems to really show his lack of empathy for people that have suffered and are still suffering. And so I think that's really, to me, when I see this, that's what jumps out at me the most. And so I think that's one of the biggest problems that he struggles with, is he struggles literally with the feminine principle because he's not capable of empathy, and people see that. And I think that's why, I mean, obviously there are many other issues, like the fact that being a narcissist literally means, by definition, he's incapable of empathy. But also, you know, there are other problems, like the fact that he's a pathological liar, which this is going to touch on, so I'm going to mention that as well. And then also, you know, his criminality. And so, which I think this full moon touches on as well. So I just wanted to help you to first understand the meaning. Full moon brings things to culmination. It's like a fullness, a fruition, a culmination, an ending of some sort. And obviously this is the general interpretation of the full moon. So this is true for everyone, because the full moon has this meaning in the sky for everyone on the planet. That's what full moons do. They bring things to conclusion, culmination, fruition. So sometimes that literally means some kind of ending. But it depends on how it's impacting you individually in your chart, how that manifests for you in particular. For some people, it has a very dramatic effect, but for some other people, if it's not having any, you know, specific impact on your chart, then you may not even notice it. Or it could have, and by the way, this can be positive or negative. It's not by definition anything negative. It depends on how it's landing in a person's chart. But the general interpretation of Uranus is that it brings something shocking, surprising, and unpredictable, unexpected. So that could be good or not good, depending on how it's landing in your chart, like good luck or bad luck. And then, of course, the moon is going to be something to do with probably either something emotional, subconscious, illumination. That's another thing about the moon. This could bring incredible illumination to people who are paying attention. So, if you want to know how to use this in your own personal life, pay attention to what's happening, because it could bring some kind of incredible illumination and insight and some kind of inspiration, like a lightning bolt, like a light bulb going off. So that could be a really beneficial result of this alignment. And with it conjunct Lilith, it's also relating to the shadow. So something coming out of the shadow, like out of your subconscious, out of your shadow, and illuminating. So this could be really, really beneficial for a lot of people. I don't think it's going to be beneficial to Donald Trump, though, because when I look at this, another thing that's in the sky is the fact that Venus is in opposition to Chiron. And so Venus is the things we value. So it relates to our emotions and the feminine principle as well. It really touches on the things that matter to us, that we value, that we care about, that we love. And it's opposite Chiron. So there's some wounding there. And this full moon has a potential to bring healing if used properly, but I don't see that happening for Donald Trump, mostly because of the kind of person he is and the way it's landing in his chart. But with Mercury retrograde, it still takes us back to anything related to the past. It has now moved into his third house, and Mercury rules the third house of communication and information. So something from the past, I do think, is going to be illuminated, okay? And I'll explain why that is, not just because Mercury is retrograde and because this is a full moon conjunct Uranus. Some kind of information is going to be revealed, but there's another reason why this is specific to Donald Trump, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is the South Node, really both the nodes over his natal full moon eclipse, but I'm talking specifically about the South Node conjunct the moon because this is a full moon, okay? So we want to look at where the moon is in his chart and what's happening with the moon in his chart. As I said, the moon is emotions, subconscious, the people, and women, and particularly the feminine principle. All things related to the feminine principle, such as how we feel about things and empathy, the nurturing principle, the collective. And with the South Node, he's got this karma that needs to be resolved. And, the thing you have to understand about astrology is, yes, it can be used for predictions, but more importantly, the real purpose of astrology is to help us to understand the cosmic curriculum in our lives. And as an astrologer, I call it karma, that's what it is. Karma is the cosmic curriculum. It's what you're meant to learn. And every human being has the opportunity to learn and grow if they want to. If they don't, then their karma just compiles, like a snowball. So that's what I basically see for Donald Trump, is that because he has not been capable of learning the lessons. I was actually very surprised at the debate that he seemed to have learned from the previous debate that his tactic of interrupting was not working. And so he did seem to learn something. And as far as I know, I didn't hear anything about him making misogynistic statements or anything like that. But I only watched the first half an hour, and then I was like, okay, he seems to have changed his behavior. And, it's not like he was going to say anything that was going to change my opinion. So I had other things to do. But obviously, if any of you have other thoughts or feelings about it, impressions, opinions, you're certainly welcome to include them in the comments below. And so, as I said, this is really taking us to an understanding of the feminine principle. And I think in particular, his lack of empathy. And that's the karma, that's the problematic karma that he has. And then with the other planets over here, we've still got Mercury retrograde square to Saturn, which is highly problematic. And this is all coming together. And you'll understand when I finish the entire interpretation of this full moon on his chart. So yes, that Mercury retrograde in his third house, squaring Saturn in his sixth house of work, is not working in his favor. And again, you'll understand that when I finish the full reading. Pluto is also very karmic, and it reveals corruption, and it's right over his vertex, which is fate, in his sixth house of work. And it's also the focal point of this boomerang yod, finger of God alignment. With the North Node up here, making part of that quincunx, part of that boomerang yod, finger of God alignment. It's very karmic, and it's all about whether or not he can learn his karmic lessons. And then it's in opposition to Saturn and Venus over here in a sixth house of secrets and things hidden. And that's where we're going to come back to. That's where this entire reading is pointing to. So, okay, so Saturn has passed its exact opposition to both his Saturn and his Venus now. But I think there's a further culmination coming with this full moon. And Pluto is going to move into an exact opposition, first to his Saturn and then to his Venus in his 12th house of secrets and things hidden. And that's going to be very, very important. All right. So with Mars still retrograde, I mean, there are just so many examples. You can really, really see that how it weakens that masculine yang warrior type energy. It doesn't mean you can't get things done. It just means that the feminine energy is much stronger right now. The masculine energy is tamped down, and the feminine energy is ramped up. Okay. So the other thing I want to say about the fact that this is a full moon means that you don't just look at where the full moon is and what it means in the chart, and where the natal full moon is and what's happening to the natal full moon in the chart. But also you look at the house and the planets in that house and sign ruled by the moon, which in this case is his 12th house, Cancer. Okay. So when you have a full moon, it brings illumination. A full moon conjunct Uranus brings shocking illumination. Okay. And reveals secrets and things hidden. And that is multiplied when your house is ruled by the moon. And his 12th house is Cancer, so it's ruled by the moon. So his 12th house of secrets and things hidden is always impacted by a full moon because it brings illumination. I think in this case, it's definitely going to bring illumination. And also when things are in Scorpio. Scorpio is the natural ruler of the 8th house, but the 8th house is the house of karma and deep psychological transformation, ruled by Pluto. So when you're looking at anything related to the 8th house, Scorpio, or Pluto, it can have the same impact as looking at anything related to the 12th house, which is naturally ruled by Neptune. But then, of course, for him, because he has Cancer in the 12th house, that means that his 12th house is ruled by the moon. Okay, so we see the full moon here. That's illumination, could be illumination of secrets and things hidden. It's going to be shocking and surprising because it's conjunct Uranus. The sun itself is in Scorpio, so we get that other element of the 8th house, and Pluto, because it's ruled by Pluto. And then we look at where Pluto is. Pluto is conjunct his vertex, so that's fate in his 6th house of work, opposite his Saturn and Venus in his 12th house of secrets and things hidden. And we see that both of these are part of this phenomenal finger of God karmic pattern in his chart. Okay, so it continues to point to the same things over and over and over again. So I definitely do not think that this is going to be helpful to Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form. Now, I did really quickly look at the charts for both Biden and Kamala Harris, and it's possible that they may also experience some kind of October surprise, whether it's planned or not. When I thought about like what could it be if it's not something that Trump and the Republicans have already planned to reveal as part of their October surprise, could be something. Something could still come out. Like I thought, well, what could that be? Maybe if one of them were to get sick or be exposed, or like exposed to the illness, or if they could be close to someone who was exposed or got sick. So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I was just trying to think of things that could happen that have nothing to do with the planned October surprise, because this full moon is going to bring something shocking and surprising and unpredictable and unplanned and, all of that. So I was just trying to think outside the box, like what could it possibly be? I don't know. That was just one possibility. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying I was trying to think outside the box about what could possibly happen. So, but I felt like it was it was more clear what we see happening for Trump, that this is not working in his favor because of the fact that it keeps pointing to the issues around the feminine principle, which I think comes back to his lack of empathy. And the fact that, this kind of alignment is definitely going to bring illumination of something dark, something hidden, something in the shadows, something in the subconscious, some kind of secret or something hidden will be illuminated with this full moon conjunct Uranus. All right, so then one more chart I want to look at is seeing what this effect this has on Mitch McConnell, because when I looked at his chart, I also saw something very interesting. So really, we've still got this pattern of Mercury retrograde square Saturn, which is adding to the full moon conjunct Uranus and Lilith. So that's just in the sky. That's affecting everyone. And it's not, these are not what I would consider favorable alignments, but that doesn't mean that it's going to have unfavorable effects for everyone. If it's not landing in any particular way in your chart, you might not experience anything, or you may experience something very positive and happy, some kind of surprising good luck, or some kind of illumination, like a realization, a light bulb going off, like a lightning bolt of inspiration or just awareness that could be really positive for you. Okay, so what we see for Mitch McConnell is that the nodes are over his vertex and his Lilith. So it's bringing back these, these themes of something karmic, something fated, something to do with things that are hidden in the shadows. Okay. And, but I was particularly intrigued when I saw the fact that it's right over his full moon, his natal moon. Now he does have a lot of trines because he has the natal planets in Taurus in his 10th house. It's not surprising that he's been extremely successful as a senator for so many years with these kind of alignments. And they trine his Neptune in his second house of income. So he's become extremely wealthy, not just successful in his career as a politician, but extremely wealthy. And so with these planets passing through his sixth house of work, making trines to his planets in Taurus in his 10th house of career and fame, and trining his Neptune in his second house of income, he has been benefiting. That's why I said that it's not out of the question. I looked at the charts for, I believe it's McGrath, who is opposing McConnell. And I saw that there is actually still a possibility that she could win. So it's not out of the question. But with the kinds of trines here, it's still working very heavily in his favor. So there's a possibility of an upset, but the odds are still in his favor. And so I just want to be clear about that. Don't rule out the possibility of an upset. It is still possible. It's just that, it's still leaning in his favor, but it's not impossible that she could win. And then I was looking at this, this it's this square here that you see, we call a grand cross. You can see the cross in there. And so what we see is this full moon conjunct Uranus and Lilith is right over his natal moon and squaring his Pluto, his natal Pluto, and his natal Venus. So I think there could be something really shocking revealed about him. And, people have mentioned things about his wife. So Pluto is his sense of power. But as I said, Pluto is also a planet of karma and transformation. And when it's activated, it does have a tendency to reveal corruption, especially in this kind of square, this kind of grand cross. Some illumination, shocking illumination could come. So this is pretty significant. Even in spite of this fundamental Earth trine, grand Earth trine that he's got going for him and working in his favor, still something shocking is going to come out. And as I said, I've shown you his alignments on Inauguration Day, and they do not look good. So that's why, I've said this, and I've heard that other people have said this as well. There's this phrase going around, which is McConnell will win, but he will lose. And so he may win the election, but he's going to lose something. And I don't see him as being the Senate Majority Leader when I look at those kinds of alignments on Inauguration Day. He does not look like he's happy on Inauguration Day. So, and it could have something to do with the shocking information that comes out if he does win the election. Something shocking is coming to the fore. So again, when we think about what is the moon, emotions, subconscious, the people, and the feminine principle, and sometimes actual literal women. It can relate to literal women. So it could have something to do with that. And, some information that's come out about his wife. So when you see the square to Venus in his 7th house of long-term meaningful relationships, including marriage, this would be his marriage partner. And it's also squaring Mercury, which is information. So information about his marriage partner, possibly. So something is going to come to light. Something is going to be illuminated that has been hidden in the shadows. Something to do with corruption. So, and the sun here is in his 4th house of home and family. So it could definitely have something to do with home, family, marriage partner, information coming out, shocking information being revealed. something that's been hidden in the shadows, some kind of corruption being revealed. So yeah, definitely there's something's going to be triggered by this full moon. There's no doubt about that. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. And as always, if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. All you have to do is click on the red box down there in the corner and ring the bell for notifications so you can get all the videos that are coming out this weekend and leading up to the election day and really all the way up to Inauguration Day. I think we're going to have to be talking about this stuff because I don't think we're going to see a peaceful transition of power. So so we'll definitely want to be watching this all the way through Inauguration Day. And if you want to join the group Zoom session that we're having today at 4:30 Mountain Time, then just click on the link below to become a patron or at the end of this video. All right, that's it. And I will see you again in the next video tomorrow. Bye-bye.